I played a closed beta full early session of Mandate Order, and for a while I genuinely thought my settlement was going to collapse completely. Not because the systems were shallow, but because I didn't understand what the game wanted from me. I played the Mandate Order playtest recently, a strategy settlement game set in the Warring States period, where I started from barren land and attempted to build a functioning frontier settlement under seasonal pressure. Mandate Order claims to be about building strongholds, managing resources and surviving political chaos. In practice, I found it was much more focused on logistics, food security, transport range and worker efficiency than on outright warfare, at least in the early stages of the game. Towards the end there, after a 4-hour session, I could see that we were definitely heading in that direction. So you're not really playing as a Grand Emperor. You are reacting, stabilising and slowly learning how not to make the same mistake twice. Visually, the game impressed me almost immediately. The terrain detail, the lighting, the building models, seasonal changes, all of it looks excellent. Zoomed out, the settlement felt alive. Zoomed in, the animations worked really well and held up surprisingly well. Seasonal transitions were particularly strong. Snow coverage, lighting shifts and environmental tones all changed and helped to sell the sense of time passing. There's no night and day cycle in this particular game, but it is a seasonal progressive shift throughout the year, with important moments in time changing the way that people look and feel and behave. The accompanying audio supported the experience pretty damn well. The music encouraged a slower, thoughtful pace, but got to me in the end and I had to turn it off. The ambient sounds reinforced the feeling of running a remote settlement rather than a busy city, but the squeeze me cheese noises, they're non-stop throughout. Combined with the visuals, this gave Mandate Order a calm but tense atmosphere, especially when food or fuel started running low, and this tended to happen because I didn't quite understand the mechanics right from the get-go. And this is where the game tested my patience. The core systems themselves are solid, but the tutorial and the interface clarity are a bit unique and therefore were not that intuitive. I repeatedly ran into situations where a build failed, but I didn't clearly state which resource was missing. Menus were dense or difficult to read at a glance. Conscription and militia formation worked, but only after a bit of trial and error, and something of an error where the camera would constantly snap back to the main base, and it often happened at the worst possible moments. So none of this felt unsolvable, but it did feel underexplained. Now, I reiterate the fact that this game is in a closed beta. It hasn't even released yet. There is a lot more work to be done on this game, and the developers are really on top of it, looking for feedback, asking for information, and then trying to resolve, fix and improve the game in accordance with the feedback that they receive. I have to say that once I understood the kitchens, the fuel flow, the transport stations and the storage range, the game suddenly made sense. It's one of those kind of games that you have to play once and fail to learn how to play it, and then on your second playthrough you're 100% on top of everything right from the get-go. Unfortunately, that understanding for me came after several hours and many painful mistakes, but I did get there in the end, and the game felt very solid once I reached that stage. One of the strongest design choices I noticed and appreciated was how storage behaved locally. Building a second storehouse did not magically duplicate inventory like on many RTS games. Resources had to be physically moved from one place to another, and the distance obviously therefore mattered. The single decision added a lot of realism and forced proper planning, something many strategy games shortcut, and I really appreciate that. It added a lot to the entire experience, and everything has been approached in that kind of manner, which is great. Now once again, this is a closed beta pre-release, and in my session I tried to play in 4K. The performance struggled a bit, frame rates dipped occasionally, the odd stutter here and there. However, this was a playtest of an unreleased title, and the core simulation remained stable enough to continue. I had no dropouts, no real issues, just graphically didn't seem to like 4K. 2K I think it would have worked absolutely fine, and maybe next time I'll stick to playing in 2K. So optimization clearly needs a bit of work, but nothing suggested a fundamental engine problem. This game is really solid. So overall, once all the systems clicked, Mandate Order became a genuinely absorbing RTS title. I really found myself planning expansions, preparing for winter, preparing for war, and I was thinking ahead rather than reacting to situations, and I was starting to plan what I wanted to do next, and I was starting to get to the point where I was going to start building some big structures and taking control of the area. Now, I stopped playing because it was late, not because I was finished, but it was one of those games that was really hard to put it down. I think I spent about 4 hours on it in the end, and it was very late at night when I finally finished. Mandate Order already has the foundations of a strong strategy game. It respects realism, avoids magical shortcuts like most RTS, and it rewards your patience and logical decision making. But in order to reach its full potential, it's going to need a slightly better tutorial to help people get up and running, a slightly better UI. There's a few things that don't quite add up in my honest opinion. Communication between the game and you could do with a bit of work, and obviously there's that camera bug that I mentioned. But if all of these areas are improved, and I genuinely believe that they will be, this really could be something special. I haven't got into the combat situation yet. I will follow this up with more details in regards to that, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing how it works out. There is a lot of suggestion or persuasive indication to suggest that you're going to be able to have massive, huge scale battles in this game, and that could be something very interesting to behold. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you'd like to hear more, and of course, it takes a lot of time and effort to make these reviews for you, so please, if it's helped you, if you found it interesting, chuck me £1 a year. There's 30,000 of you watching these videos, so £1 a year will really help to keep me going. No pressure to do that. I will always try and keep these videos free, but it's just how long I can keep doing it without any money coming in at all. So please do dip your hand in your pocket and chuck me £1 once a year. That's all I ask. It's not too much to ask for. I would really appreciate it, and it will help keep us making more reviews and videos for you. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.